Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force Newsburst Live special with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic AT, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com. Hope everyone is doing well in the chat. Thought I'd keep you hanging a little bit early for this one. Over a minute in the in the waiting room. No, I actually got completely sidetracked watching something else, and then I was like, "Oh, right, yeah, I've got to do this, haven't I?" Hope everyone is doing well and enjoying their Wednesday. The folks have gone back. I know, I took them to the airport. I say gone back, they're still waiting in the airport right now. But it was great having mom and dad with us for a couple of weeks. And yeah, we made our sad farewells, and they are currently waiting in the airport to go home. In any case, hat's back on. Yeah, I didn't. That is just, I've been wearing a hat all day. I just couldn't be bothered to do it this morning. Has nothing to do with the parents being here. Anyway, Jedi Ben, yes, you did call it. We'll talk about that in a little while as well. Yes, we've got lots of news to get through today. We have the Kickstarter has come to an end. The Skybound Compendium Kickstarter has come to a triumphant and rather impressive end, which we'll be talking about briefly, because I did a lot more yesterday about that, but we can definitely get into some of the basics. And another little detail that I'm not sure if everyone is aware of right now, but we'll get into that in a second. We also have the SUPER7 Super Cyborg Escape Armour went up for pre-order on HASBRO Pulse today as well. All of these things happening when I just was not anywhere available to even share them on the socials, which was annoying. And of course, we knew Snake Eyes, the Commando Snake Eyes from Mezco was going to be dropping today, but we didn't know what time. And lo and behold, it did. So we're going to look for all the images for that as well. Right, lots to get through then. So let's start. And of course, we can't really go anywhere right now other than the amazing Skybound Kickstarter. Yeah, it's comics news, and here was where we landed. I've actually seen this move a few times since it was like finished, but there is probably a reason for that, because as you can see, or no, you can't see at the moment. Yes, you can. At the top of the page, it says, this project successfully funded on June 26th, but you can still late pledge for available rewards. There is a late pledge option. So not only, let's stick to the basics. Not only did it absolutely decimate the initial funding goal of what, 50K, but we got 3,711,000 so far, $453. That's 10,279 backers. Yes, Jedi Ben, you did say 3.7. You were spot on. A few of you did, actually. I think a few of you said 3.7, and that was probably the safe one. Not the safe one, but the best choice. Obviously, it was, because that's what it turned out to be. I did kind of hope that it would break 4, but I was just getting greedy at that point, and just happy it did really well. So that's awesome. Yeah, so phenomenal stuff. Now, I did a news burst yesterday, and kind of as it broke the record, basically, we did a little kind of episode yesterday. I wasn't going to be available live as it kind of ticked over, which would have been fun. We've been there in the past where certain projects have kind of ticked over and finished. Like I think we did the Skeletrons, the Robo Skull one. That was amazing. We did, what else have we done in the past? We kind of did, I want to say we did the HasLabs a couple of times as well, where we've been on and it is, broken, or just, got into the win column sort of thing, reached the gold and all that kind of stuff in the past. But yeah, Jeffrey says FOMO set in and I backed a Cobra set in the last couple of hours. Well, good for you. But yeah, you can get you can late pledge now. So the whole late pledge thing, you can back it with I think it's a 10% premium on top. So just so you're aware, and everyone that has already pledged within the time period, obviously that's all locked in. They don't have to pay any more or anything like that. So that's, don't have to worry too much about that. But just in case you didn't know, late pledges are still, for available rewards, are still an option. Okay. Cobra Commander has Outback's gun in that picture, right? Yeah, I think he does. I think you're right on that. I don't think they really cared. I think they just gave him a gun to make him look nails. Cheers. Anyway, quite an impressive event, quite an impressive Kickstarter. And like I said last night, huge congratulations to Larry, the original team, and everyone that worked on the original Marvel run. Everyone at Skybound for putting this incredible event on that's still technically kind of going if you're into late pledges with a bit of a premium on top. And yeah, to everyone, basically everyone involved in putting this on. And everyone involved in like the artists involved in all of the trading cards and the the other covers and all that kind of stuff. It's just so much has gone into this that everyone deserves a big pat on the back, a big Pat Stewart on the back, and not Picard. But yeah, 3.7 million, and of course it absolutely decimated the previous record, which is what, like 100 and something, 31 something, or 370, 307 something. I can't remember what the original record was, but it was absolutely decimated with this one, which is unbelievable, isn't it? So I am just going to flip over here and put this on the screen because this is what we want to look at now. Now we've looked at the actual, final score and all that kind of good stuff. This is where we are. Skybound's G.I. Joe becomes the most funded comics project on Kickstarter. Unreal. And there have been a lot that have, done very good things. I have to say, I'm incredibly surprised and shocked. I am. That's not going to change. But so utterly proud and happy of our little G.I. Joe brand. He says ours, like it's our little one, like it doesn't, 10,000 and something backers. But it's just impressive when you think about where the kind of success has been in the past, where in the kind of history it's been, kind of 82, that was 82 through to 94 was a very, it was a huge period of time for G.I. Joe. There was a huge amount of sales in the toys. It was absolutely beloved, and we wouldn't be talking about it now if that period of time hadn't been so impressively popular and just so close to all of our hearts. But yeah, the fact that they I would say completely surpassed expectations, and I don't think anyone expected this. I don't think anyone expected over close to $4 million. I don't think anyone expected that, but I know it's opened a lot of eyes to the brand who are probably thinking maybe there's something in this. Maybe there's something in the original Marvel series that could be mined correctly for film. Let's just throw that out there. It seems interesting, doesn't it, that I don't know if it would translate exactly to kind of like a movie, but they could certainly go a bit closer to what we've seen in the Marvel run for sure. And yeah, and I think you never know, it might be something that brought a lot more people to the cinema to see the actual films. Which at the end of the day is what you want. You want that success, whether it's I think I said this before, but with the films, I would take success over everything else. So, and if it's good, that's just a bonus. I'm not saying I want a bad movie that's successful, but I could certainly hazard an average movie that is super successful. I could definitely take that and party. Nothing beats 80s marketing overdrive. Still feeling the effects. Indeed, Scott. Indeed. Jedi says, after years of nowhere, it's just glad to see the entire brand rise again to prominence. It does feel that way. Liquid Identity says, is G.I. Joe an enduring brand? I hope this isn't just the last big nostalgia wave before it fades away. I don't think so. How many nostalgia waves have we had so far? Quite a few. I don't think this is the last one. I think it'll keep going genuinely until yes, as a generation who collected from, as kids in the 80s, certainly could be. And I would say probably the 90s, you'd probably get that, there's another wave eventually coming. But I think I don't know. We'll see, won't we? I don't think it's gonna be one of those things where it gets young kids, but I certainly could see it, being a sort of you know, could kind of living in the adult collector kind of vicinity for years to come, especially considering, you know, the TOYZ classified has continued that or has brought a lot of people on board that just weren't interested in Joe beforehand. Lone Dragon says any successful G.I. Joe movie must have shipwreck in it. He doesn't even have to be a main character, but I'm pretty sure he's one of the missing ingredients. I'd love a shipwreck in a movie, Lone Dragon. Cobra Civil War would be epic on film. I think it would actually. I think it would be really cool with a few tweaks for sure. I didn't back this. I only have so much money doing the HasLab instead. Congrats to all of those who backed it, says Derek. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You pick and choose your battles. And when I feel sometimes the pressure comes off to support something when it's doing so well. And in this case, the fact that it's absolutely blown the doors off took a lot of pressure off a lot of people who felt they maybe had to support the brand, if you know what I mean. Sometimes I don't think that's had to happen with this particular situation. I think it's great that, you know, some people could kind of like take a back seat and it still do absolutely incredibly well. Paul says the Marvel run was awesome as a kid, waiting month to month for an issue. Yeah, indeed. Ryan says they need to release a collection of the Centurions comic miniseries that DC published. $1 billion there. You reckon, Ryan? I would admit I would love that run in like a trade. I think we've just hit the 90s wave, aka me. I think we've got another. Well, that said, I think there's probably that wave could continue for another 10 years, is what I think. With the 90s, I think that could continue a little bit on. The 80s might get a little bit distant, but I could see the 90s still holding on for at least another 10 years in the nostalgia department. Yeah, indeed, RKW. I'd go see any Joe live action movie, but I'd be just as happy with a series of DC style animated movies based on the comic stories. Yeah, Agent Chuckles, that is a good shout, because even though I think some of those DC animated movies have been like hit or miss. Some have been really kind of like into, and others have kind of like I've got bored and done something else. Like it really has kind of got to that point with some of those films. But some of them are really good, and I think doing G.I. Joe in that sort of animated style, yeah, like following comic stories would be friggin' awesome. Especially put the Marvel run in animated form, please. That'd be great. I think that would be a really good thing to do. Its popularity makes me hope more bookstores and comic shops notice and they stock the paperbacks. Would it have that effect, or would it have the effect of everyone's got it now, they're not going to need these? It's one of those things, isn't it? But maybe they would put those in. Maybe we'll see those in abundance anyway. Skybound seem to be doing things correctly and seem to be hitting the right notes at the moment. I can't see them messing that up, honestly. Strike while the iron is hot. Hasbro needs to do a heat check on the Joe brand with animated projects ASAP. I definitely agree. I think that though is something that should have been done a couple of years back, and they should just go with it. Like, let's do this, let's stick with it, let's put it out, let's see what happens. But yeah, like now it's gonna be, they're not gonna rush job it, they want to do it properly, so that'll take time. And I don't know if things are in development at the moment. That's the other thing. We usually are told when things are in development to a certain point. So if it was in development at this point, we'd know about it, wouldn't we? And not me, but like we as a collective would know about it. I never read Joe comics, so I don't want to buy $300 plus. I was interested in sampling, but that was $100. Well, you'll have the option to do that very like in much more piecemeal way with the trade paperbacks or the compendiums that are coming out paperback in comic stores. So that's an option there for you to kind of do it slowly but surely. What a great time to be a fan with this and the 3D Joe's art book. Totally point break. Keydis. Yes, the Carson's project, the multiple amazing projects from Brian Hickey, Total Toy Books, Paddy Lennon, the the classified series, SUPER7's O-ring line, Ultimates, Reaction, like just there's so much good stuff. Mezco, which we'll be talking about a bit later on, 3-0 knocking out bangers left, right, and center. it's just a brilliant time to be a GI Joe fan. You know, if you want stuff, you can get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's things, you know, and to a degree, like, there isn't a great deal out there that's that hard to get. Higher Toys, I should add, as a 4-inch line, they're a little bit hard to get, considering there's only 2 of them that really have made it out so far. And the rest seem to be on pre-order kind of hiatus. But that said, you know, there's a lot of stuff, you know, that's kind of happening with the Joe brand. The Jada stuff, I'm not sure if they're still doing those, but like every now and again they'll drop something like new randomly, and you'll be like, oh, where'd that come from? But I'm not sure if they still are doing things, Paul, Jada. But yeah, in terms of the stuff that's current at the moment, 3.0, Mezco, SUPER7, HASBRO, all the fan art stuff, all the fan work that is officially licensed. Well, let's talk about, you know, Dan Klingensmith Jr.'s books, the Creating G.I. Joe books. They're also officially licensed. Renegade Game Studios is another company, obviously, that's doing great things with the license for, you know, for games and all that kind of stuff. Skybound Comics. I mean, it's just a great, great time to be a Joe fan. End of story. Yeah, cool. Now, as well as Skybound's amazing news, SUPER7's Pulse Exclusive Escape Armour with Red Shadow Trooper popped up for pre-order today as well, and we got more images, we got more information, and yeah, it's a beauty. This will be $124.99. I think just keeps it in line with all the other Super Cyborg releases. The other Snake Armor, of course, that came out first. The bat, the transparent bat, and yeah, now this beauty. And I love the fact that they repainted the trooper inside to be the Red Shadow Trooper. I think that's really, really fun. Obviously, it makes sense for them to do so. But you know, when I heard that this was happening, I wasn't 100% sure how they were dealing with the trooper inside. So we did know about this a little bit in advance. But like I said, I was kind of interested to see how they dealt with the trooper on this one, and I was very happy indeed. I think it looks really cool. Here's a shot of the kind of the snake armor outside of the box. It's also very, like, what would you say, like very kind of like almost like perfect to the original, like in terms of the scale. They've basically scaled up. It feels like they've scaled up an original escape armor or snake armor. It just looks really, you know, proportionally looks perfect. Love all of the deco and the details and the tampos, the stickers, all that stuff is on point. I should have got an original one up to do like a comparison with. I didn't do that, my bad. And I also know that the original came with a HISS driver, which is really cool, and it would have been a nice touch for this one. But again, they've already got the mold for the trooper, so it just made sense to just kind of repaint them in a kind of Red Shadow format. And that's kind of a fun way of doing it as well, and kind of I'm pretty sure it is just the trooper repainted. Again, I think it works really well, and I'm here for it. Okay. I'd love Jada to do more stuff actually, but I'm not sure if they have the. They might do, but I haven't seen them do anything for a long time with the brand. Look at that big red beautiful beep, says Scott. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? How big would an IDW or Devil's Due compendium be, says Diecast Nick? Well, 155 to 300, right? That's a lot of issues for IDW. Devil's Due, they've kind of done trade paperbacks for Devil's Due, but I don't know if they've. I'm not sure if there's a compendium as such, but the Devil's Due, what was that? That was like, how many issues was that? I can't remember off the top of my head. But they did a lot, and a lot of kind of, you know, side issues, you know, kind of like other things. But yeah, pretty large, I would imagine. We need snake armor in classified. Yes, we do. I wouldn't be surprised if we. I would be surprised if we didn't see. Yeah, that's right. I would be surprised if we didn't see a snake armor in the classified series. Just saying. I'm just trying to catch up on some comments I think I missed. Eco Warriors and Star Brigade haven't even been touched yet. That's true. OMG, just read Destro 1. What a great beginning, says Smoke 3116. Yes, an incredible issue. I've got to read A Real American Hero. That came out today as well, so I'm excited to get stuck into that in a little while after this. Anyone getting NECA Jessica Fletcher, says Lone Dragon. That is absolutely amazing. I kind of want that though now. Maverick versus Wild Weasel movie. That would be interesting. I'd like to see the Marvel run in paperback. These companion books are too large and prestige to suit my reading needs. They are doing that, Paul. They are literally doing that. They're basically putting those compendiums in a paperback version for, you know, like $64.99 each, I think. So the first one is going to be out in October in comic stores. So yeah, they're literally doing that. Do a one-off straight to streaming Resolute style and go from there. That would be kind of cool, Scott. Yeah. How big would, yeah, I've done that one. We need Snake Armor in Classified. Yes, we do. Has way more decals than the Cobra version. Yes, but so does the original. I like Jada to do more Vans, just Fast and Furious. Cool, says Windblade. I will display this with my Ultimates Red Jackal, RKW. Yes. What's really cool about this is, yeah, like I think I've talked about this in the past, the Super Cyborg Snake Armor looks in the sort of scale with the Ultimates as the large snake armor that blows the doors off in the Terradrome when Falcon is trying to call for help after they've infiltrated the Terradrome for like, it's like the 13th infiltration of that movie of the Terradrome. And the Sarge and the Renegades are kind of busy just, you know, doing other stuff. Falcon gets kidnapped, but they blow the doors down with this giant snake armor and everyone rushes in, including the twins. And you just see this huge snake armor in the background. So in terms of that, it works really well as that particular scene in the movie. The Super Cyborg Snake Armor works really well with the Ultimates scale. So that would be kind of cool. And I would definitely have, yeah, these Red Jackal and Red Knock Baroness would look really good in front of this, wouldn't they? Absolutely. I'm looking for some new snake armor that won't scale with anything in my collection. Oh, here we go. Well, Peter, I've just gave you an excuse, or I just gave you an option. But yeah, if you don't collect ultimates, then it's all for naught. It's all for naught. Snake armor confirmed here first. I didn't say anything, but yeah, I mean, come on. I wouldn't be unsurprised if we didn't not see snake armor in classified. Thank you, Scott. Daniel Heron, thank you so much for the super chat. That's really kind of you. Classified Robo Skull indeed. Well, we're kind of getting a classified Robo Skull, are we not? Courtesy of Skeletron. So yeah, that will be perfect for your classified figures. Yeah, and that is both 6 and 4-inch scale. Because we couldn't decide on a scale. No, yeah, so like that beauty is on, it's going to be here very soon and I can't wait. Oh my god, the factory images alone are just making me go all funny. But yes, indeed, a classified Robo Skull is right around the corner, Daniel, courtesy of the good folks at Skeletron. But thank you so much for the super chat, we really appreciate it. Colonel Repaint present and accounted for. Hello, Stygian. I was actually saying hello, Stygian, not reading Derek's comment saying hello, Stygian, but no, both work, right? How about a classified of that big robot with the Cobra head, says Lone Dragon? The the Cobra snake robot or something it's called, isn't it? Yeah, that was it. The Sentinel. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, the one that appeared in the cartoon and has a very cool little appearance in the upcoming Wrath of Cobra video game. Very excited for that. No more details regarding the release date for that, but cannot wait. Kaiju. Well, Kaiju was the name of the one that didn't quite make it, wasn't it, Paul? I think. I'm not sure if that was what it was called in the model, like, you know, in the on its model sheet for the animation, because I don't think I've ever seen, or I can't remember what I've seen in terms of the name. I just thought it was Snake Robot. How about I'm holding out for classified HasLab Water Robot. You'll be holding out for quite a while then, I think. Skeletron won the Battle of the Booths last weekend. It sounds like they had, well, it looked like an incredible booth, I've got to say. SUPER7s look pretty impressive as well. Cobra Kaiju, says Andrew. That bot would be like 3 foot tall. Good HasLab. It'd be incredible, wouldn't it? I don't think there's an official name out there. Okay, thank you, Paul. I think Cobra Snake Robot is what I've always called it. So there we go. But Kaiju works. Anyway, more images of this beauty. Here it is kind of like broken down a little bit. So as you can see, if you're unfamiliar with Super Cyborg and with the Snake Armor, indeed, the one that's already out, then the front panel comes off to reveal another panel, which is all kind of electronics and kind of gear like that. The legs panels also come off to reveal like robotic kind of machinery and what have you. And then the interior kind of front panel, that kind of main panel in the middle at the top, that comes out again, and you get the it kind of reveals the trooper inside. Now the trooper inside is molded. It's not kind of like loose. You can't take it out. It is just kind of like a molded piece in there, but it's kind of fun still and looks really cool. And I like it a lot. This is amazing. I'm so happy on this. And then of course we have a couple more images showing off in like a more, you know, dramatic promo images, courtesy I think of direct from Super7 actually. Cheers. Oh, Sorenson's book called it the Giant Cobra Mech Mark II. Thank you, Barking Fridge and FC Viper for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, so there you go. That's everything. Now let's move on to Mezco. I should say before I go, link in the description for that G.I. Joe Snake Armor. Like I said, it's the Crimson variant Snake Armor is what it's described as, even though it's Escape Armor with Red Shadow Trooper. It's $124.99. Link in the description, and that is a Pulse exclusive. There you go. Right then. Can't see it up for pre-order. I'm literally on the pre-order page, so it's there. It is 100% there. It exists. It's the main thing on the what do you call it? It's the main thing on Pulse's main front page. Yeah, it's up the top. G.I. Joe Super7 Super Cyborg Cobra Snake Armor figure. I don't think I'm accessing a different Pulse to you guys. But it is right. It is there. And if that doesn't work, use the description in the link below, and it should take you right there. Okay, cool. Oh, you're in the UK, right? Isn't that interesting that the UK doesn't have this yet? I did see that, by the way. I did see that it wasn't up on UK Pulse yet. I don't know why, because it is a UK homage. It should have been on UK Pulse exclusively. But in any case, I'm sure it will follow up soon. It might just be an error on their part. But yeah. Anyway. Oh, it's not pre-order, it's in stock. Thank you, Zed. I just completely missed that. Shop now, add to cart. You're totally right. It is in stock. Sorry, I was saying pre-order, but no, it's not pre-order. You're right. That's me being lazy. Thank you, Zed. It is in stock, so you can order this, and it'll arrive in about 2 days, or however long it takes. Pulse, probably a little bit longer than that. I imagine when they created the Snake Armor, it would go like Hammer in Iron Man, just twist a poor grunt in half. Yeah, big time. If you click the new button on Pulse, it's the first thing there. Yeah, I think it's because a few people in the UK don't have it yet on their UK Pulse. There's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be there and must be an error, because that is a pretty big oversight if they've decided not to sell it in the UK, when you think of where this homage originates from. In any case, let's move on. We've got Mezco Snake Eyes now to talk about. Now, this is the 112 collective Snake Eyes Commando edition for MezcoCon 2024. Now, you can get it on their website, link in the description. It is $112. It's a very expensive pre-order day today, isn't it? And it's another beauty. Now, I would say the first thing that kind of comes to mind is, first off, yeah, he looks awesome. Looks really cool. I like it. It's very much that Commando Snake Eyes. But I feel like they could have done a little bit more on the kind of body in terms of the soft goods, like more stitching, more kind of like almost like segments or lines or something. I know the original is just a sweater, and that's what they're doing here, and they are achieving that. But it kind of looks like he's missing something. Do you know what I mean? There's something missing a little bit on the kind of chest area. But other than that, I think he looks really cool. I think it's one of those ones. It's almost sort of inevitable when you start doing Snake Eyes figures, that you'll either start with the Commando or you'll start with the V2. The V2 does tend to kind of happen, doesn't it? Quite a lot. I should also say this is in stock as well. It's not just a pre-order. So this actually is also in stock. And well, actually, I say in stock. It is and it isn't. If you order now, it will actually ship after SDCC. So that is kind of, yeah, that kind of changes things a bit. Like if you were to order this, you're not going to get it like super soon. This will come after SDCC. So because of that, it is sort of a pre-order, but not. I mean, you'd order it and it'll be like, just wait a couple of weeks, basically. So yeah, so this one again will ship after SDCC, and but it's kind of ready to order now, basically. Thank you. That I've kind of been putting pre-orders on everything, writing it on all the copy, and neither of them technically are pre-orders. Anyway, doesn't matter, does it? At the end of the day, does it? I don't know if anyone cares too much. It would just be like one of those things where you're pre-ordering it and getting it quicker than you normally would if you pre-ordered something. If I was getting Snake Armor, it would be the first release SUPER7 did in the OG colors. Yeah, Profit Director, that's cool. Did you get that one, or are you not going to bother getting that one either? Yeah, everything usually is a pre-order, Zed. So it kind of felt like I wasn't wrong, but no, it totally. Both of these are technically in stock. Yeah, and so I do like this. I like the look of it. And like I was saying, a lot of companies tend to do V2 Snake Eyes first, that homage, and then they'll kind of dip into the other kind of versions. And version 1 is one that is always very much, very prominent in that kind of release schedule. And here we are with Snake Eyes, effectively version 1 Commando, getting the Mezco treatment. And again, the Mezco figures, I have to say, are quite breathtaking. Like, I think the actual figure quality, you know, the soft goods are great. The accessories you get are ridiculous, like so many of them. They look really good. You can pose them really well. There's a very high end. I mean, you're paying for it. It's like $112 for effectively a 6-inch figure, but there's so much going on with these. I mean, the Destro I have is out of this world. A lot of people have been enjoying, was it the Firefly very recently? That looks phenomenal. Roadblock is phenomenal. I think, you know, I do think these are great figures, and I'm kind of happy that Mezco keep churning them out every now and again. We haven't had any higher news for a while, so I bet I'll be doing higher by the end of this week. I bet there'll be another higher release. I can almost smell it. What was the last one? I know we had the twins recently, but there was another one after that, wasn't there? Stalker? I know Stalker was recent-ish. What was the last higher TOYZ one, guys? Can someone just say in the comments so I don't have to search for it myself, please? I genuinely can't remember what the last higher release was. I'm going to look anyway, because that's how I do this in the middle of a show. Everyone's like, it's not very good for radio, is it? I'm just going to scroll through my images because I never post anything on our socials. Lol. Yo, Chris, Joe Fest missed you. Well, did it though? Really? No, thank you, dude. It looked amazing, Travis, and I was very jealous and very FOMO-y, and was really a bit depressed actually because it looked like everyone had a great time. Maybe next year we'll see how it goes, but yeah, sad times. It was Stalker, was it? Thank you, RKW. It felt like it was Stalker because the last thing I remember talking about higher TOYZ was the quality of the head sculpt, and I wasn't really into the Stalker one a great deal, I don't think. Here's me looking at images I've posted, and I would have just reposted their post about it. I'm just going to say Stalker, and we'll move on. Anyway, sorry, I'm all sad now. I saw some good videos from Joe Fest. That's not a terribly long drive for me. I'm going to have to make it there next year, maybe, says Zed. We are definitely, I'm almost certainly going to go next year. I think it looked amazing. again, like there was so many for so many reasons, like you know, just to, you know, the Skeletron stuff and the and Bob Breakin, um, dear friend Bob, and Paddy and Brian making the trip out there. Like I felt really bad that I couldn't make it genuinely, but it was great. It was great. And I look forward to next year. That's all I'll say. And Pat was there, of course. Amazing. Amazing. Anyway, Snake Eyes. Here he is. Right. Again, the one thing I will also say about Mezco is they have the amazing ability of producing some of the greatest promo images. Now, not taking away from Shooting the Galaxy and the wonderful work Matt does with the classified series, because that is some of the best, you know, toy photography going. And there are some amazing toy photographers out there. I'm going to give Paul Panfalone Plastic Battles a shout out. Brian Hickey, Total Toy Books, a massive shout out. These are all upper echelon toy photography, just photography in general, but toy photography superstars. And whoever does the friggin' photography for Mezco is great as well. Now, with this, it's not so much the photography. I mean, obviously getting the figure posed and all that kind of stuff, yes. This is all about the After Effects stuff. And they always make these look so ruddy dynamic and incredible. So yeah, a big shout out to the again, it's a different style to all the other ones I've just kind of talked about and discussed, but I love what they do with them, and I always enjoy going through the images that they produce for their products. So, you know, a plus for Mezco on that one. And these are great as well, more dynamic shots, you know, explosions and loud explosions and, like, you know, gun effects and blast effects. It's just all really, really cool. And of course, these are great. These shots of the kind of, you know, showing the other figures kind of interacting with him, like him and Roadblock running like it's a buddy cop movie, and they're just escaping the exploding car behind them or whatever. And then you've got Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow giving it the fight, kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, close quarters combat sort of scenario there. You know, where they kind of like keep stepping over each other's like leg like that to get in position as they're fighting. That's what that kind of feels like. If you know, you know what I'm talking. If you know, you know. If you watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and loved it like I did when I was younger, I absolutely adored that movie. Still do. I'll put it on every now and again and just absolutely float away into heaven. Like, that movie is incredible. And just there's one fight with the two women in the courtyard, and it's Michelle Yeoh, I think, and I forget the other actor's name, but she's incredible. She plays the young woman, kind of like, you know, one of the main characters in it, and they're basically kind of like meeting sort of for the first time in the courtyard, and they're having this fight like but again, they're close quarters, and they're doing that thing where they're like going to kick each other but stepping into each other's like space. It's so cool. And that's what that reminds me of. That's all I wanted to say, really. So you're probably just sitting there going, I know what you mean, mate. You don't have to describe the entire bloody scene of the film. What we saying? Hung out with Pat quite a bit. Super guy, says Trav. Yeah, he's a good lad, Pat. He's amazing. Stygian stood shoulder to shoulder with Patrick, not Picard Stewart, at the Super7 booth as he admired the O-ring figures. I like it. Did you say hi, Stygian? Did you introduce yourself to Pat? Because he would have, he would have said hi. He won't bite. Are you going to come to Joe Fest next year? Skeletron Pizza Party with Bob Breakin was awesome, says Andrew. I don't. I'm sure it was amazing, and I'm very sad I couldn't make it. Very sad. The Joe Toy Show in Texas during Joe Fest was fun too. Got to meet Harmer for the first time. Very cool. Awesome, Prophet. Awesome. Yeah, it was two at the same time. Two big events. Had a lot of legends at the Texas show. Very impressive. I am happy with my classified Commando Snake Eyes, so I can't make myself spend $100 for another one. Totally profit. I'm also not telling you to. By the way, I'm trying. Don't think I'm forcing you to do this. It's really just I'm one of these people. I do enjoy these from a distance. I have Destro, but I don't have any of the others. But they are all, well, they're those kind of figures that you see other people like showing off in videos. And you're like, oh, that's pretty impressive. But I know for a fact that the figures are great, as I have one of them. But I would be into this. I would be into this if it wasn't so expensive. I would be buying every single one, no problem. Same with 3.0. Those Mezco shots give me D amazing vibes. Oh, thanks, Scott. Is that another photographer? It's Michelle Yeoh. It is Lone Dragon, yes. Oh, Stygian was too starstruck to talk to Travis as well. That's hilarious. Surf Ninjas had better fight scenes past the pierogi. Did it? I think it was Zhang Zhiji. I think you're right, actually, Paul. Yeah, I think you absolutely nailed it on the other actor in that. Yeah, she was phenomenal. I love that movie. I introduced myself to Patrick in the men's room last year. I said, and I quote, "You're tall." Brilliant. I love that, Stygian. That's amazing. Actually, Pat is a lot taller than I think a lot of people think. He is. I've never really thought about it because obviously I've known him for years and never really thought about it. But every time I see him, I feel like he's gotten a bit taller, like he's a growing lad. I'm so happy I got one of those Commando Snake Eyes. It looks dope. Oh, brilliant, Just Under Anderson. Brilliant. I'm only a bit taller than Brian Flynn, so most guys are tall to me, says Stygian. Fair enough. I drop the bread on it. If I don't like it, I can always sell it. Big, tasty, good point. Absolutely. It looks great. I mean, this figure looks phenomenal. And like I said, the other ones are pretty cool as well. And here he is beating up Firefly as well, giving him a bit of what for. Very cool. And that one where he's got the multiple blast effect, kind of multi-level blast effect is really awesome as well. Great. Again, phenomenal shots here. Yes, Diana, it would have been better. Yeah, it was better than telling him that he was long rather than tall. That's very true. I bought the Destro for obvious reasons, says Profit Director, and I would buy a Baroness Cobra Commando or any Cobra soldiers, but I'm addicted to army building Cobra. It's easier to skip the Joes. Fair enough. Scott says, same Chris, I like the Mezco figures from afar, but one can get 5 classifieds for the price of one. So there's that. Yes, absolutely. I really like the look of Mezco, but I've decided to focus on just classified for now, Sean. You, many others, and myself included, definitely. I wish they had an action shot of his grappling hook. That's a good point, actually. Just under, yeah, because we do have obviously that images of what he actually comes with, but yeah, we're only really seeing the kind of machine guns, the pistols, the kind of bladed weapons and stuff. There are blades, like the knives and stuff. He doesn't have swords, does he? This one, because obviously it's the Commando version. But yeah, you're only really seeing those kind of things. Grenades as well. That's awesome. Honestly, there's some brilliant shots. And showing the 2 grenades. I thought they were grenades, but they're his kneecaps. But that one is great. Again, another beautifully dynamic shot. Now, yes, he comes with a host of things. Obviously, he's got his head sculpt. There isn't like alternate heads on this one. It's just the one. You've got 10 interchangeable hands. So lots of different versions of hands to utilize. Of course, you've got the usual figure stand with the kind of a transparent adjustable posing post. And then you have 2 pistols with 2 removable magazines. You have another kind of like almost like a mini semi-automatic hand pistol with a removable magazine. What are those? C4 explosive and detonator. You've got a rifle with 2 removable magazines, 4 gas or 4 grenades. I'll just say because I don't say gas grenades, so 4 grenades. You have the submachine gun again with 2 interchangeable, 2 removable magazines. You have 2 more submachine guns again with again both of those have removable magazines as well. And then as well as that, we have the walkie-talkie and 2 bicep straps, grappling hook with rope and knife, and then of course his messenger bag for grenade storage, which is fun. And you get 5 gun blast effects as well, as you can see on screen. So a decent amount of stuff there for you. Amazing. Real Zim says, yeah, he does look cool, but I'm sticking with classified too. Same. It'd be fun if Mezco mixed brands for their shots. She versus Bluto. That would be kind of fun, actually. That'd be really cool. I just like. I think what they do sometimes repost what other people have posted, like fans of like Mezco kind of images and stuff. They'll often repost them on their actual socials. So you probably will see a lot of kind of mix and match kind of brands going, from Mezco, kind of, fighting or interacting and stuff like that. Mark and Rosa Bauer says, I'd just like to pick up the Mezco accessories and use them for my classified figures. I mean, yeah, the accessories are like a little higher end, aren't they? Definitely, in that sense. Oh, you could tape the mags together, like in that one movie. Yes, Barking Fridge, you could. You could have the mags taped together. That would be kind of fun. Anyway, that is everything for Mezco Snake Eyes. As I said before, I'm actually going to do this. Let's go back to here and do a little recap summary of everything. So, like I said before, or I'll just say this for the 112 Collective, link in the description, $112, and you can buy it now, and it will ship after SDCC 2024. Okay, and it says please allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. So that one might as well be a pre-order, genuinely. The Escape Armour is in stock now on Hasbro Pulse, so if you order that, it'll probably come in pretty fast. And of course, we talked today about the amazing Kickstarter campaign that is over, but not over at the same time, and it's gone up a little bit since we last talked about it. Amazingly, it is at $3,712,214, 10,282 backers. I can see that going even bigger. It's one of those ones where it keeps kind of like keeps breathing even after you think it's dead. Every now and again, an eye will open or something like, oh, it's not dead yet. So yes, the Kickstarter as well was incredible, and we ended up with the most successful ever comics Kickstarter on Kickstarter, which is unbelievable. Right then, lots of stuff covered today. We're going to kind of bring it to a close now, but we're going to do a little bit of continue a Q&A, the interactive portion of the show, for a few more minutes. So let's transition. Yes, international backers added fluctuation ? No, I think it's just because there's a what do you call it? This always sort of happens with Kickstarters. Like there's a little bit of, bit of messing around at the end. Like maybe some people's cards don't like. Maybe there's an issue with the card that someone's using, or certain things are kind of coming in a little bit later, but the information didn't update at the time of it closing. So there's a bunch of things that still need to be processed, but they were done before the end of the event, algorithmic technical issues. And now we have the fact that the Kickstarter is continuing a little bit, in that you can go in as a late backer after the fact with a 10% premium. If you go back on, I believe, if you go back on the thing, you can back the project still. Yeah, you can actually still support it as a late backer. And if you back it now, like I said, there will be a 10% premium on the overall cost for that, if you want to. All right. So it's like, yeah, late pledges on some levels. Available levels is the word on that one. And I think those available levels are make a pledge without reward. Available rewards are the Snake Eyes at 300, the Cobra Commander at 300, the His Tank at 600, Mutt 30, Hall of Heroes $50, Duke 75, Destro 75, Chuckles 120, Chuckles 120 again. That must be different. That's weird. Mobat 150, and then the Cobra Commander 300, Snake Eyes 300. Yeah, basically anything that hasn't already all gone, which was pretty much the case at the end of the project. So you can still back the project on any of those available levels. Okay, cool. Who's Hugo back on? I like it. Brilliant. That's a really good one, actually. The Zap card edition awesome homage, says Smoke 3116. Yes. Zap for the win, says Maximum Warp. Absolutely. This is, yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it? Like, I'm unbelievably blown away by how this has gone, and how just, I don't know, like, proud isn't the word, because it feels like it's not my child or anything, or my Phoebes. But like, you know, you feel like an element of like pride here, for like, you know, backing this not this brand for so long, like doing these kind of things and just being really like excited for any success that kind of comes out of it. So the fact that we are in this kind of very rich time, rich in many different ways actually, but rich in the kind of in product, in I don't know. What's weird is we don't have anything like animation or TV show. Obviously we've got a movie around the corner. Again, it's happening. There's nothing you can do about it. And Justin and I will be talking about it hopefully next week. I think Chris likes G.I. Joe, says Captain K023. I know I do, to the point where I do this show all the time. So yeah, big time. Cheers. People like what I like. My fandom is validated at last. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Kind of disappointed with Hasbro's Yo-Jo June this year, says Justin Anderson. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bud. We got lots. We just didn't get it spread out. We just got it all at once. I know. I'm kind of really happy with what we got. You know, Stinger, bruv. Stinger. What else was in there? Sarge, Low Light, Spirit. We had the 4 figures Iron Grenadier, Snake Storm Shadow version 2, Alpine, friggin' Iron Grenadier Bat was actually quite a pretty cool banger of a battle android trooper. We had, what else do we have? Oh, the retro figures, Cobra Commander with the the Vac Metal helmet. You had the Trooper, all right, and you had the Stalker, which is really cool. What else did we have in Yo-Jo June for classified? I think that's it now, isn't it? Sarge. Yeah, that was everything. That was everything in the month. I don't know. I think it was pretty cool. I think it was, and we got the Dragonfly update. We got to see all the new figures for the Dragonfly. I don't know what more you'd need. And then we've got the Dial Tone, and who else did we see? Was it the Snot? We already seen the Saw Viper, hadn't we? Or was the Saw Viper with Dial Tone with the renders? I have the worst memory in the universe, it would appear. I think it was Dial Tone and Saw Viper. We got to see those renders. We got to see Nemesis Immortal, for goodness sake, officially, rather than like, yeah, thank you, RKW. I didn't actually see that until I said it, but thank you. I appreciate you doing that one. Yeah, we got a decent amount, I think personally. Anything else? Name only reveals? Footloose? Footloose was a name only reveal. Was that it? Was there another name only reveal that I'm forgetting? I said Dial Tone, and you thought I said Dial Sim, says Barking Fridge. I might have mumbled it a little bit. I'm very exhausted right now. Yeah. Anyway, Chris is drinking Boba Fett's soul out of that thermos. The late Star Wars director. I ain't continuing with that one. But no, this is just water. You said, yeah. HasLab clue, I guess. Yeah, is another thing. But that, I mean, they said they're going to reveal the HasLab over SDCC. So that is another thing. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. And I don't know. I'm happy with that as a month. I know a lot of it was done on one video, but again, it was still spread out in terms of pre-orders. I don't know. I think it was a pretty solid one. I'm trying to think of what would have made it any better, but we've got so much stuff coming. Like, I swear, the amount of stuff coming for the classified series is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it is vast. There is so much. So much. Fanfare. There seemed like there was something missing. Fair enough. I think there wasn't as much. There certainly wasn't as much kind of activity as we've seen in the past, where like, you know, there might be something like every day almost, where like they might post a few, like, you know, like a little thing that is sort of, you know, just a social post and nothing else really. But yeah, I kind of get what you mean. I think the main reason that it didn't feel like a fanfare in that sense was because they did everything basically in that first video, and then it was just about pre-order drops for the rest of the time, with obviously a couple of cheeky things like a dragonfly unboxing to show the figures off for the first time, and you know, like revealing Nemesis Immortal on a Stinger unboxing. So there were a few kind of like bait and switch moments, almost like, yeah, there's your Yojo June. We'll see you on the next one for whatever. And then they pull out Nemesis Immortal. And you're like, oh, thanks for nearly hiding that one under the desk. So I get what you're saying on that one. I definitely see what you're saying on that one. But yeah. Will the SDCC Joe Lab be a pre-recorded or live reveal? Oh, well, it'll be a live panel, is what they usually do at SDCC, Stanley. I imagine we'll have articulated points, Phil, doing the live stream video for that one. So that I'll look forward to that one. So articulated points, bust out another cracking video for that. That'd be awesome. I'm not assuming that's happening. I know Phil has planned to do that this year, so that'll be really fun. I imagine there'll be like a promotional video that goes along with the HasLab reveal that, you know, kind of they post on the socials for when the actual when they reveal it. I don't know if it'll go up at the same time or if it'll go up afterwards or what, but I'm sure we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out soon. They might even reveal it and then talk about it more at the panel. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's going to be awesome. Pumped for loud clapping guy. Oh God, not again, Scott. That was so weird. We've all been spoiled with 6 months worth of names renders. If they slowed down the teasers, they would have had more for Yojo June. That's actually quite a good point. I think if well, they did for me. They didn't give me anybody name onlys or anything like that. But yeah, they gave loads of other people reveals, and then they didn't have anything for Yojo June, I guess. But yeah, whatever. I guess I'm just bummed they didn't do a closeout live stream. Yeah, another video would have been all right, wouldn't it? Just throw that at the end. Just throw that one on the end, even if it's just a basic sort of like, I don't know, just anything. Maybe, I don't know, just I don't even think what it would be. Maybe like a little kind of like, you know, the team get together to say thank you for the month and everything. Have a happy Yojo June, and then there's some sort of hint at the end to what the HasLab's going to be for next month. That would have been kind of cool. I'd have worked. That'd have worked for me. I'm hoping Emily will be at SDCC. I'm missing her on the live streams. She will be. She's the only one working on organizing it, Diana. So yeah, she is 100% going to be at SDCC. She is working very hard currently to get it all sorted out. Oh, hey, is Phil on here? I don't think he's on this particular. I don't think he's in the comments at the moment, but he's going to SDCC. Bypass. Emily will be at yeah, she will. She was 100% is going to be there. Yeah, I spoke to her very recently about it. Yeah, cool. I think that brings us to a close. I will be back. I'll be back with, well, there's probably going to be more news before the end of the week. I know how it works. I know how it operates this month. It feels like the last bit of the month has been given to everyone else. It's like Hasbro have done their little bit, and then they've left a little week for everyone else to just dump all their pre-orders and everything. We've got Mezco pre-orders, you know what I'm talking about. We've got Mezco, we've got SUPER7, we've got what else have we got? Maybe round down the in the pipeline, possibly higher TOYZ. You never know, they could pop up with something tomorrow or Friday. Would not surprise me. Couple of things. I am again like on my travels this weekend, so the weekly will be done on Friday evening again. Apologies. We will try and get back to normal scheduled programming at some point, but I think for the next 2 weeks it's going to be Friday nights because of the both Saturdays next week I'm going to be traveling. So there you go. That'll be the weeklies for the next couple of weeks. My apologies. Let's Talk Classified Footloose at some point soon. And Justin and I are going to be getting together to do a kind of little bit of a roundup in the movie news sort of capacity. So that should be fun as well. Right then, I'll bring it to a close there. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys, on the show. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, I think you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.